Hello everyone, it's Jack over here. So I know lucid dreaming is very popular to the average person. However, the average person doesn't seem to think they can lucid dream that much. They hope to stumble into their next lucid dream, whenever that may be, whether it be 1 month down the track or within the next 2 weeks, they don't know for certain. However, what I want to do in this video is show you that it's actually possible to lucid dream every single night. And the way that we're going to do this is by looking at natural lucid dreamers. Let's analyze their sleeping patterns, their sleeping habits, and see exactly what they do to lucid dream on a consistent basis without any advanced induction techniques. Let's have a look. So this graph shows you the sleeping pattern of a human throughout the night, and on the y-axis you can see the different levels of consciousness that they pass through during the night. On the x-axis is time, that measures time throughout the rest of the night. What's important for us in this video is two phases. One is the awakened phase, which is a waking state, and number two is REM sleep. REM sleep is really important to us because it's at a particular stage of sleep where dreams occur. Dreams do not occur in non-REM sleep, which is stage 1 to 4 over here. So the difference that sets natural lucid dreamers aside from regular lucid dreamers is that they fluctuate between REM sleep and consciousness throughout the night, in particular at the later stages during the night. And I say at the later stages during the night because, as you can see from the sleep chart, as time goes on, the amount of time that the dreamer spends in REM sleep increases. Now, natural lucid dreamers have a very good ability at fluctuating from REM sleep into consciousness and phasing back into REM sleep. This gives them the advantage of being able to slip in and out of lucid dreams, and through that being able to chain lucid dreams by envisioning the lucid dream or dream that they just woke up from and slipping right back into it. So in short, natural lucid dreamers are able to slip from REM sleep into an awakened state and slip back down into REM sleep, where they can continue dreaming, continue lucid dreaming throughout the night. And how exactly do they do this? Well, it really comes down to three main things: genetics, a light sleeping pattern, and a very advanced level of dream recall. We can develop a sleeping pattern that is light, and we can also improve our dream recall. After you develop a really light sleeping pattern and also a very advanced stage of dream recall, you can naturally wake up during REM sleep. And after waking up during REM sleep, you can exit a dream out of REM sleep and perform a wake-induced lucid dream technique called a wild to slip right back into REM sleep and continue your lucid dream. This ultimately unlocks dream chaining, which is where the highest potential of lucid dreaming truly lies, where you can fluctuate between REM sleep and awakened state and prolong that as much as possible to have back-to-back lucid dreams throughout the entire night. So while that all looks good on paper, in reality there are a lot of variables that we can experiment with and twiggle around to improve our approach to this technique. So number one, we have to develop a sense of wake up during REM sleep, whereby we're starting to naturally wake up during REM. This requires an advanced level of dream recall, and I'll show you exactly how to do this. After you've mastered this part, it's a matter of mastering wake-induced lucid dream techniques. This technique involves you directly passing from a waking state into the dream state without passing through any blocks of sleep, and I'll show you exactly how to do this as well. Step number 3 is an optional technique, but something that I like to do, which is where you set repeating alarms, which is our safety net, just in case we forget to wake up, and also to truly maximize our approach. I'll show you exactly what to do as well. So without further ado, I'm going to show you part 1. How to naturally wake up during REM sleep. So how do you naturally wake up during REM sleep? Well, it revolves around the concept of a sixth sense. And this sixth sense you may have already experienced with if you set an alarm clock for the morning. For instance, if you set an alarm clock for 7 a.m., you might find yourself waking up at 6:50, 6:55, or even 6:59 a.m. just before your alarm goes off. And the reason why you do this is because your body and mind is fine-tuned to the alarm so that you start waking up well before the alarm clock goes off so that you don't get startled by the alarm. I want you to develop a sense as well, but instead of developing a sense for your end alarm, I want you to develop a sense for when REM sleep goes off. That is, the next time you're dreaming, your body knows you're dreaming, your mind knows you're dreaming, and instead of getting interrupted by the alarm that hits that critical REM period, it's going to wake up during that critical phase. And by naturally waking up during that critical phase, you can lucid dream by thinking about whatever dream you came out with, or conjuring a new dream scene out of your own accord, and slipping right back down from consciousness into REM sleep and induce a lucid dream that way. So the way that we reach this level of sixth sense is by spamming alarm clocks. In particular, you spam it at 4.5 hours, 6 hours, and 7.5 hours of sleep. So remember to compensate for how long you take to fall asleep. So if you take 10 minutes to fall asleep, add on 10 minutes to these numbers. If you compensate for the amount of time that you take to fall asleep correctly, these numbers will cause you to wake up in the middle of REM sleep, where you're most likely to be dreaming. And after a while, you'll be constantly waking up during REM sleep, and your body and mind will start knowing that REM sleep is important for you, and it'll start waking you up naturally during those alarm clock times. Eventually, instead of setting alarms, you can just go to sleep and your body and mind will start waking up naturally after those periods of dreams as well. So to naturally wake up during REM sleep, you have to spam alarm clocks. You have to spam alarm clocks so that your body and mind will wake up during critical portions of that night. However, you can experiment with a lot of alarm clock settings as well, which is what I like to do. In particular, I use a lot of auto shut-off alarms. These are alarms that automatically turn themselves off after a period of ringing so that you don't have to roll over and turn it off yourself. Also, you can start adjusting with alarm clock settings so that instead of emitting a sound, it can flash light or vibrate as well. This perhaps can cause you to wake up at a gentler stage of sleep, and it will be more productive that way for you. In addition, you can set audio recordings of those alarms. So instead of a song playing or even light or vibrations flashing, you can have an audio track of yourself asking, "Are you dreaming? Perform a reality check now." Or, "Are you dreaming? Look at your hands right now." So my experience with this is that the more you spam your alarm clock, the better. You really have to get used to waking up during those critical portions of the night and training your body to wake up naturally as a result from your alarm clock spam. To summarize that phase, we want to naturally wake up during REM sleep, and we naturally wake up during REM sleep by carefully setting our alarms to wake us up at the 4.5 hour, 6 hour, and 7.5 hour marks through alarm clocks. You can then adjust those alarm clock settings to better fit your lifestyle and to fine-tune that technique. After a while, you will be naturally waking up at the end of your dreams, and at the very least, your dream recall will massively increase as well. Expect your dream journal to really fill up if you've taken this phase seriously. After you've gotten this phase on the lockdown, we start performing the wild technique. Let's see exactly how I perform the wake-induced lucid dream technique. So you've woken up naturally during REM sleep. Now you need to slip from consciousness back into REM sleep and back into a lucid dream. So we do this by performing the wake-induced lucid dreaming technique. And this is going to be a brief overview of what I do. In reality, the technique is a bit more complicated than this. However, there are 3 stages of consciousness that we pass through. So we're awake, and now we need to go into the hypnagogic state, which is really the borderline state between consciousness and the dream world. During the hypnagogic state, your body is fully relaxed, but your mind is awake. This happens every single night, but we're not usually aware of it because our body and mind feel so sleepy that by the time it comes on to any reasonable extent, we're unconscious. So to observe the hypnagogic state, you need to let your body fall asleep completely, whereas your mind is still on the brink of consciousness. And during this stage, you're going to see flickers of light and shadows, such as the picture on the right, and these can take quite abstract forms. These are hallucinations occurring on behind your closed eyelids. And the reason why these hallucinations occur is because if you think about it this way, what are dreams made out of? Dreams are made out of imagined elements, and they have to be made out of something, right? So the way that dreams form is by your mind putting these hallucinations out there in front of you, and eventually these hallucinations take on more and more complex shapes, and there's going to be a dream plot that develops and a tangible dream scene as well. So observe this hypnagogic state, and you can either ride the wave by looking at the hallucinations and letting them take their course and see where you end up, or you can start conjuring your own dream scene through visualization. This is covered in other videos. Check those out to know exactly how to manipulate the hypnagogic state. Next, it's just a matter of inserting yourself into the dream from the hypnagogic state, and that's the easy part, provided that you are fully relaxed and are at an advanced stage of hypnagogia. So if you're already naturally waking up during REM sleep as a result of setting alarm clock spams at the 4.5 hour, 6 hour, and 7.5 hour mark, you're going to have an advanced level of dream recall. And if you're performing the wild technique consistently after waking up during your natural wake-ups, you're going to be lucid dreaming a lot as well. So in short, by the time you reach stage 3, you're going to be lucid dreaming a lot. Your dream recall is going to be through the roof, and your dream journal is likely to be filled up as well. The next part is not so much about getting lucid, it's about maximizing how often you get lucid and also increasing the quality of your lucid dreams as well. These repeating alarms are something that I like to set to increase my logic during lucid dreams and also to give me a safety net to fall back on just in case I lose consciousness during lucid dreams. So to be able to customize your repeating alarms at a high level, you really need to have a good understanding of your sleeping pattern and when you're most likely to get lucid. So really only do this after your first 200 lucid dreams after your natural wake-ups, so you have a really good understanding of where the alarms really should be set. There's no point setting random repeating alarms throughout the night because it's going to disturb the quality of your sleep and also the quantity of your lucid dreams as well. So let's have a look at some of the options you have when setting repeating alarms. So the concept of repeating alarms is not popular in the lucid dreaming community, and I'm probably the first lucid dreamer to actually bring it onto YouTube. And so what are repeating alarms and why do I like them so much? Well, in short, I consider an alarm a repeating alarm if you set it without the intent to get lucid from it. The problem I had during my earlier stages of lucid dreaming is losing lucidity within dreams, as well as forgetting to wake up by the end of lucid dreams. So by setting additional alarms, I cast an extra safety net to save myself those lucid dreams that otherwise would have been forgotten. I took this concept to the next level when I started analyzing my sleeping history, and I realized that there were patterns in terms of my lucidity, as well as the timings of my wake-ups between each night. So the situation was, I was already lucid dreaming consistently, but I wanted to maximize my lucidity by setting reminders throughout the night, reminders for me to wake up at specific times, as well as reminders to trigger certain things to happen within my dreams, such as music playing off at certain times that I knew I was likely to be lucid dreaming, and all of these alarms will automatically shut off as well. So they weren't conventional alarms in that sense, in that most of these alarms only range from 5 to seconds long in duration and played a light melody, not enough to actually fully rouse myself away from sleep into a conscious state, but enough to trigger some sort of meaningful change just in case I was lucid dreaming, or if I was on the very brink of consciousness and I was about to fall asleep. While this took a lot of time in terms of customization and experimentation with different settings, I think it was well worth it because it truly allowed me to scale lucidity, to scale the lucid dreams that I was already getting and making them go to that next level. So the goal of this phase is really to maximize your lucidity. This is for people who've already got a really good understanding of their sleeping pattern and they're already lucid dreaming consistently and they know the times of the nights where they're more likely to be dreaming or lucid dreaming. The perfect configuration is very likely to differ between each of us based on genetics, our sleeping pattern and sleeping schedule, as well as how we manage to tune ourselves during the REM wake-up phase. So some of the configurations I've experimented with include voice recordings of myself, asking myself, am I dreaming? Look at my hands, or voice tracks of myself counting down from 10 to 1. I've also experimented with music tracks that I'm familiar with, which do play out in my dreams, and these do remind myself that I'm lucid during some of the more intense lucid dreams that I've hit, and this has of course saved me lucid dreams as well. So I've adjusted the duration, length, in particular all of my alarms now are automatically shut off, ranging between 5 seconds to 20 seconds in duration, as well as type of alarms. Eventually, you'll hit a sweet spot after customizing these alarms and can continue fine-tuning them as your lucid dreaming career progresses. Once again, I want to reiterate, this is for scaling lucidity. It's not for inducing lucidity. This is for people who are already inducing lucidity consistently, people who really understand when they're going to get lucid. I analyzed over 100 nights of my sleeping history and based on that calculated when I was most likely to wake up during the night, when my existing alarms were already set, and when I'm most likely to lucid dream as well. I started twiggling around with different settings such as voice recordings, music tracks, as well as timing to safety net the lucid dreams that I do know that I was going to have to retain as many of those lucid dreams as possible. Soon enough, I found that all of the voice recordings and music tracks not only helped me to stay lucid, but it gave me extra lucid dreams to remind me to stay lucid within that dream and also wake up shortly after so that I can chain it. So I started customizing these settings more and more, and eventually I did hit a personal sweet spot where I was able to scale lucidity really high based on setting alarms that went off at the exact same sleeping rhythm that I was going off through. And so I've reserved these 3 lucid dreaming habits to the very end of the video because it's quite generic advice, but dream journal, perform reality checks, and also remember to repeat a certain mnemonic each time before you fall asleep. Keep these at the back of your mind. Alright, to summarize this video was meant to lay out a clear path for you to lucid dream every single night. And the way we reach that path is by training our body and mind to wake up during REM sleep, where dreams are most likely to occur, through alarm clock spam. After waking up during REM sleep, you perform a wake-induced lucid dream technique to slip back into the lucid dream. After mastering these 2 aspects, you should already be lucid dreaming consistently. But to truly scale lucidity and take it to the moon, you really need to be setting repeating alarms and customizing these alarms based on your sleep history. So look through your past 200 nights of sleep history after you're lucid dreaming consistently and work out when these alarms could be set to maximize your lucidity. Obviously, there's going to be lots of factors outside of your control, such as your genetics and light sleeping versus deep sleeping. If you're a deep sleeper, it's going to be harder to train yourself to wake up during REM sleep compared to light sleepers, but you can certainly do it as well. The bottom line is, I think most people can lucid dream on more nights than not, provided that you are willing to set a lot of alarm clock spam and also to invest that time into lucid dreaming. So the aim of this video was to give you a framework for lucid dreaming every single night. Hopefully now you have a theoretical backbone and know exactly what it takes to lucid dream every single night. That is alarm clock spam and training yourself to wake up during key REM phases during the night. So this really gives you a bird's eye view of the whole lucid dreaming process and really the approximate path towards lucid dreaming every night, which is what I think is the gold standard of lucid dreaming. In reality, there are a lot more little details out there, and I didn't want to make this a 10-hour long video, and so I'm going to release these videos in a series of phases. In addition, I hope to release a step-by-step course eventually that tells you exactly what to do and what to set to reach a consistent level of lucidity. So if you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching so far. This is quite a controversial video because I did showcase the method that I use to reach a consistent level of lucidity, and it's quite an unusual technique that I'm sure a lot of people won't like in particular. But I honestly think the mainstream approach to lucid dreaming is really a waste of time. That is, trying to stumble into a lucid dream once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks. That's not something I liked. I liked pushing lucidity to its limit, and I think the true potential of lucid dreaming is really out there for people who are willing to push themselves to the highest level by training themselves to wake up during particular points during the night through alarm clock spam. And I think most people are able to do this provided that they are committed and willing to set aside roughly 6 months of the year to dedicate themselves towards lucid dreaming. At the end of the day, I think lucid dreaming is a very valuable skill set to have, especially if you're a productivity-oriented person such as myself. There's a lot of untapped hours during the night which you can use for self-improvement or creative inspirations or even recreational purposes. I think the skill set of being able to lucid dream on more nights than not is one of the most valuable skills that you can attain in this world. So the bottom line is, if you like this video, consider sticking around by subscribing to me. I'll release a lot more good content in the future as well. Thank you for watching.